Oh, g'day guys. Well, welcome back. It's 2024 and we are back on the couch with Woody, as we like to call it, another episode. And today I'm very happy to announce I've got an Australian singer-songwriter, country artist, new on the block, and his name is James Keith. How are you, brother?
How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Very good, mate. Well, thanks for coming down today.
Mate, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
That's all right. Welcome. Mate, so we're just going to go back into the story of you and let all your fans and those people out there that want to get to know you about. I mean, the first thing that struck me when I sort of saw you poke up on social media was your energy and your passion for music. That's very evident. So we'll go into all of that, but let's go back to where home was. So Orange was home originally?
Orange was home, yeah. So I'm one of five boys, and Dad, he came from Wagga originally, but moved down to Sydney. But he always wanted to bring us boys up in the country.
Yeah.
So we had Nan and Pop bought a place in Millthorpe, which is just outside of Orange.
Yeah.
So he had five young boys, and he thought, what am I going to do with them? So we bought 40 acres just north of Orange, and he put us to work, and we built a vineyard. So that's how we got out to the country, and we started. But Dad being a country boy was always, loved the country roots and really wanted to bring us up in the country.
Yeah, fantastic. So you went to primary school, I guess, and high school in Orange?
Yep. So I actually started around the corner here in Menai, Tarrawal.
All right,
I was in year two.
Yep.
And then, that's when Dad packed us out. So my youngest brother, Robbie, was born. He was the only one born in Orange.
Yep.
And so there's five of us boys. So
five boys,
year two, when I was in year two, he packed us up and we headed out to Orange and so created a life out there.
It's a working vineyard, and it's and it wasn't when you landed. It was just
it was literally a paddock
acreage.
with 4 fences. That's all it was. Yeah, it's 5 minutes north of Orange.
Yeah.
And it's something we're really proud of because we had no money after Dad, 5 boys. We just bought this land basically, and we had a crack at potatoes and all this kind of other thing. And then,
what are you going to do on it?
Yeah, and then Dad just a bloke down the road, like a good friend of Dad's, he was in the vineyard kind of scene, and he said, "Why don't you try grapes?" We're on Mount Canobolas, which is a really fertile land. It's an extinct volcano.
Oh, right.
And there's lots of orchards, and this is before the kind of wine boom in Orange. So, Dad, he's the most incredibly hard worker, so he started from scratch, and literally we were between the ages of 4 and 10 and planted every single vine. There's 10,000, by hand, and anyone who knows anything with vineyards, you have to plant it, but it takes about 6 years before you get any return, because obviously you've got to grow. So it was a hard upbringing, but it made us the person we are, the people we are today. And we've all, but we're all incredibly proud to go back to the farm, and it's called Mortimer's of Orange. So it's it's actually #1 on TripAdvisor. I'm giving Daniel and Dad a plug there.
That's good, yeah.
But so it's a testament to Dad's hard work, and Mum and Dad's, just, as I said, bringing 5 boys up, working sort of class town, Orange, and now we go back there, and it's just beautiful, mate. It's awesome to go back to.
So do they do weddings and things like that now? Or is it
they did all that, but we've got a cellar door, at the front, which is an old March school. So Orange was built on gold basically, and there was all these little towns outside Orange, and there was an old school from 1866 to 1966, which was open for 100 years. And then we bought the property just behind it, and it's just been sitting there. Heritage has been sitting there for 40 years or whatever. And then when we built the vineyard, Mum and Dad finally got the permission to buy it, provided they look after it and as a heritage, and they turned that into the cellar door. So it's right on the main road too. So it's an old schoolhouse, which has got lots of history there.
Yeah.
And and just to see the place now from when we started to what it is now, mate, it's fantastic.
Unreal.
As I said, it's great to bring our kids back there too now. And, my brother Daniel Mortimer, he basically runs it now too. So after his career, he moved back and looked after the family business, and it's awesome to be a part of.
Yeah,
and great, Dad goes to a restaurant now and orders his own wine. And it's not he doesn't tell the people who he is, but
they want it.
He loves it. He genuinely loves it, and also knows how much time and effort and hard work and, has gone into that bottle. Yeah. So, that's it's a nice little thing that we can do, and it's a great gift idea as well.
Yeah, exactly right. I'll have to go. You probably buy them online, can't you?
Well, the website? I'll be getting you some for sure.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I love a drop of red or a white. Do they do white and red?
We do white, and red. It's it's like cool climate. I mean, the wine industry has really put Orange on the map. When we moved out there and started planting, we were the 25th vineyard. Now there's over 100. There's 76
Wow.
labels. So it's really put Orange on the map, you know, tourist-wise.
Yeah, it's become like a Hunter Valley kind.
It really has. Yeah, it really has. Yeah, and that cool climate just mixed with the fertile
We
soils.
have to do a festival, a music festival.
Well, they started to do a Day of the Green. We had the first one there,
Yeah,
and then COVID hit, and it just killed the whole
But
thing.
they'll
So
come back eventually.
yeah, it will come back, and it's just a great area. I mean, a lot of people are heading out to Orange now, and so it's less than 4 hours from Sydney.
here.
So it's a great place, and if you do head out there, make sure you go and check out the
100%.
Mortimers of Orange.
We'll go into that, yeah, well, definitely, because I've got a strong connection with the Mortimers.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to music. The first, and I always say this, I'll be quick because I say this in all of my interviews, and they're probably, here goes that story again. But my first memory of music was Dreamworld when I was a little tucker.
Yep.
And I was in front of the barbershop quartet, the four singers.
Yep.
Had these old guys just singing 3 and 4 parts harmonies.
Yep.
And Mum said she couldn't drag me away, I just stand there looking at them. So I was obviously connected to music and harmony, even from 3 and 4 or 5 years of age, you know. When was your first moment that music sort of grabbed you? Is it in the family, or were you playing it in your school days, or when was it?
Yeah, look, I remember, this is going back in the day too, Rage on a Saturday morning.
Yep.
And I used to sit there with a VHS, and I used to record the film clips that used to go in on the tape player.
Yep.
And probably my first ever memory was the 1927. I can't remember the song now. It's gonna.
If I could, was it?
If I could, yeah. When they walk
in the
into the church.
Yep.
But that was the first video. I'm getting goosebumps
it's
just thinking about it now.
Yeah.
That was my kind of first experience of like music and that kind of thing. And then Dad put a guitar in my hands when I was 8 years old. And obviously growing up the vineyard, we had lots and lots of time to listen to, you know, the CD Walkmans and that kind of thing. Yeah, that's kind of where it all started, you know. When I started looking at the Rage and recording all these tapes, then, you know, Dad put the guitar in my hand, and Dad used to play the guitar as well. He used to strum a little bit.
Yep.
No, nothing too serious, just in the bedroom, strum around. And then that's kind of where my love of music started. And then obviously back in that era, you know, Darryl Braithwaite, In Excess, Living End were just like, he's the reason I play guitar. Chris Chaney, like just, we had like world-class bands in our backyard then. So that's kind of where my love of music sort of started and grew.
So with the 5 boys, or yourself and your 4 brothers, who was playing? Did everyone have a go, or was it mainly you?
It was, to be honest, it was mainly me. Like we all had a crack at something. My older brother Michael had the keys, and then I did guitar. But I was the kind of one who always kind of stuck with it.
Loved it, yeah.
And then evidently my younger brother Robbie, he sort of, we used to do a few little gigs here and there, like around town and stuff like that, and he sort of kicked on as well. So me and Robbie are the ones who kind of really stuck at it. The other 3 boys have kind of done their own careers in their own kind of ways. But I suppose like with the guitar, it's just something, you can take it anywhere.
Yeah,
it's a great party starter. Like, you know, I was always playing rugby league and would take it on the bus trips back then, and everybody would sing along. It was just a good social thing.
100%.
So always had the guitar everywhere I went.
That's awesome. So when was your sort of first professional sort of gig? Were you still in Orange at this stage, or had you moved to Sydney?
No, I moved to Sydney. So I had aspirations to, you know, whilst music was always probably my number one passion, you know, you always want to follow your father's footsteps, you know. So we all of us boys actually moved down to Sydney and had a crack at rugby league.
We'll talk about that. So for those who know footy, I only have to say one word, but Mortimer, everyone knows the Mortimers, and just give us a quick background of who the Mortimers are, because there might be some people overseas that don't know. You know, like they're a very famous football family. So. Yeah,
like they are. We Dad, his brother Steve and Chris, they were brought down from Wagga to play for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
Go the Doggies.
The Doggies. It's a good area too. And you know, we were just blessed. They played 10 years together.
The top grade.
Through the 80s, first grade. Played in 5 grand finals, won 3 of them. You know, just to, you know, they were part of the family club, the Bulldogs back then. 2 sets of 3 brothers in one side. You know, Greg Brenton was the 4th one from Wagga. So, you know, and they left a really good legacy. You know, a lot of people you talk to, you know, Steve ended up playing for Australia, and he captained New South Wales in their first ever State of Origin win in '85. So just a really rich history of, you know, they're all life members of the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, and just, you know, we were so blessed to be a part of it. And as you do when you're a kid, you see your dad on TV and you want to kind of follow that footsteps. And one of 5 boys, we were always playing rugby league in the backyard, bashing each other up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But so look, just very blessed to be a part of it, And as you said, you talk to old footy players and people in the game, and they were just so well respected back then. It was just a family club. And they were very humble in what they did and worked hard and so very, very blessed to be part of that kind of Mortimer family, I suppose. And even though I go under James Keith, which is my middle name.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, look, so that's kind of where the footy thing came in. So we grew up in Orange. We all had aspirations to come down and play rugby league, and my brother Daniel ended up playing for Parramatta and the Roosters.
Yep.
A few years back, and I came down to Manly, and that's how I came to Sydney. So played 4 years at Manly in the reserve grade, and we used to play. So the first professional gig, going back to your question, was we played on the Footy Show in a talent show. So me and a couple of boys at Manly were playing, and we got through to the one before the grand final. And we used to do Manly presentation nights and a few open mic nights, and that's so I always, even though I was playing, pursuing rugby league, I always had this
on the side.
And as I said, we would play every bus trip, and it just became a big, you know what it's like, you just get everyone together, all the boys together, and that's kind of, and then,
country roads and Wonderwall, and everyone's having a good time.
You just can't go wrong, can you? And then obviously playing rugby league, they've got a shelf life on that, and you get a bit sore and in the mornings, and so I retired from rugby league, and I've got a landscaping business as well, but I really kind of picked that up towards the end of my rugby league career with my brother Robbie, and we started doing, weddings around Orange and all these kind of corporate gigs, and just slowly building, and as people would see us, the camaraderie between the two of us was really good, and just kind of build from there.
So that's like a period when you were working with your brother a lot.
Yeah.
So when did you decide that you had to go sort of out on your own? Yeah. How did that all happen?
So going back to the rugby league, I got fractured larynx playing rugby league. I got elbowed in the throat, and so that kind of ruined my voice, I thought, for a while. I used to do a few solo weddings and that before that. And then after the injury, I was talking like that for like 8 days. I didn't even think I was going to be able to talk again. That's how bad it was. So playing with my brother Robbie, we grew up in the country. We've got good energy, and we love to perform. So he was writing this kind of slower ballady kind of stuff, but we were kind of like that kind of rock kind of sound. So I wrote a 12-track album, or a 13-track album, and then Robbie and I were going to do it together with our band at the time, and then he just sort of turned around and said, I don't want to do country yet. I'm not country at the moment." So, and it was a tough period in my life where I just separated with my partner or my wife for 10 years, and we're really good. We're really great together. We've got 3 beautiful kids, but it was a kind of period of time in my life where it was a fork in the road. What do I want to do with my life? And so I sat down and I wrote some goals, and writing an album was one of them. So I did the album, pitched it to Robbie and the boys, and they said, "Look, I don't want to do country." So then I was kind of like, again, another fork in the road. I was like, well, do I just give up, or do I find another singer, or do I do it myself? And so I went that way and did it myself. And
so out of adversity, you found yourself as an artist.
That's it, absolutely. And if Robbie hadn't turned it down at the time, I wouldn't be here. I honestly wouldn't be here. So this was, I recorded the album 1.5 years ago. No singing lessons, I didn't even warm up, I just went straight in, just as a bit of a love, just to tick a goal, just to prove to myself I could do it. And then in that time, I've met some pretty big people in the industry, and like Natalie Waller's a huge one. She lived down there, we're neighbours, in Queenscliff there, and she's really, really took me under her wing and really helped me, and basically said, "What do you want to do with this album? Like, do you want to do music or whatnot?" And she gave me a list of things to do, and normal people, it takes about 3 months. I had it done in a day, so she knew I was fair thinking about it. So she's like, "Righto, I'm going to help you." So, we did a few singles and that kind of stuff. And in that year, as I said, I've had 2 vocal surgeries to fix my throat. Yep. I practice every day. You know yourself. You got to do the hard yards. You got to practice in front of nobody to play in front of people, and that's what I really, really passionate about what I do, and also too. writing, I want to be positive. I want people to feel good and I don't want to put people
more
in
music like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, like most of the biggest sellers are. Most of the biggest songs are heartbreak songs or sad songs, and there's one good way to bring you out of that state, and it's to put some good music on and write a good song and feel good and have good energy. And so I don't write any sad songs. I don't write any slow. I try to make people feel good, and So we'll talk about the album later.
Yeah, that's a good philosophy.
There's a song on the album which I've tried to write a sad song, but it's actually it's a good one. I can't write a sad song.
That's amazing. If that's what you leave the world in, then that's a good place to leave the world. You left it better than what you came. Hey, so just touch on it because you've pretty much answered my next question, which is good. That's okay. That's good. I like this. I always like to go down in your darkest moment as artists, especially songwriters. We're gifted with the art of writing music and performing and expressing ourselves, but we're also gifted with that kind of personality that can be lean or find themselves in dark places very easily because you're living and you're breathing, I guess, sensitive souls. I mean, I'm not afraid to say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Even footy players can say that you can be sensitive as well as tough. So to know that what's something that, because this is the biggest thing as us, especially as educators, and I think musicians are educators through their music.
Absolutely.
But I think what's something you'd like to tell your fans and people that want to know about you, how you got through adversity, because that would have been a pretty tough time with the breakup and the fact that you're thinking, hang on, I can't even talk, let alone sing. What, if you can sum it up for me, what got you there through it? Was it your family or was it just yourself, your own?
Look, and I'll be honest to say this, like I had a lot of family turn away from me, even mum and dad, when I, made the hard decision to walk away. Well, I don't want to call it walk away because I didn't, I'm always present in Kimmy's and the kids' lives, but
it just ended.
It was a, look, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. I wasn't in a good place and mentally, I was really, I wasn't a great dad, but like every father, you get up in the morning and your kids are all over you, and then I'm a landscaper, so I just work all day out the sun and I'm absolutely buggered, and then come home and the kids just want to see you. So from 4 till 7, they're all over me. And then I'd always do bath and, dinner bath and read a bedtime story. And then, then it'd be 9 o'clock, 8:39 by the time I get to do my passion, which was music. And then, that was just Groundhog Day. And I'm not saying I'm special. That's every father, every relationship. But I was just working myself into the ground. I just, me and Kimmy were just getting a bit disconnected, and it just, there just came a period in my life where I just kind of snapped, and I snapped next to my daughter in bed one night, and I had just tears rolling down my eyes, and she said, it's all right, Daddy, and I snapped at her because my second daughter Marley was, bless her soul, she's a really hard kind of upbringing, had everything go wrong with her, and so you're tired and you just snap, you make rash decisions, and that was the moment where I just said, I've got to break this. I'm not giving the kids what I should be giving them. I'm not giving Kimmy what I should be giving them. I'm not giving my life, and so made the decision to step away, and before things went too bad. And really salvage those relationships with Kimmy and the kids, and that was my number one priority. So, but as I said, mate, my dad's old school, mate. He disapproved big time. Wouldn't talk to me. We had big fights and arguments, but if anyone's listening who's been through it, you just got to stay true to yourself and know what the end goal is. And it was tough, mate. It was really tough. And so I had my whole family judge me and all that kind of stuff. But you just got to stick true to yourself. You got to be focusing what you want to do and put energy in the right places. And as I said, my drummer at the time, I was never going through depression or anything like that, but he was in that kind of area. So he introduced me to Tony Robbins.
Okay, yeah.
And if you don't know Tony Robbins, I urge you to listen to what he's about, because I read his book, and I've never really read many books in my life, and I sat there and I read his book, and I just took so much out of that, mate. And I wrote a list of goals, and I, on the top of the list was, have a really good relationship with Kimmy and my kids, and that was number one. Number two was write an album.
Yep.
So I sat there for a year in a little one-bedroom place and just put pen to paper of my whole life, basically, and this is what this album's about. and you know, and stayed true to myself. And you know, everyone was thinking I was going to go down the other road and party and carry on, and that's not me, mate. Yeah, hard work and determination and focus and passion, and out came this album, mate. And it's something I'm really proud of. You know, today it's been a long time coming, for 2 years in the mix, and
it's out today, isn't it?
It's out today.
So today is what's the date today? Is
February 8th.
February 8th.
February 8th. Big
James
day, mate.
Keith's
Big
album
day.
out.
Yeah.
Let's show everyone the audience your album.
Yeah. So this is it. And it's called Life is Good Today.
Life is good today. Well, it is very good today.
It's a great today, mate.
Yeah.
And
we've got 12 songs on there.
12 songs. Well, it's actually 13.
13.
But I took one off, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay, you're right.
So if you get a hard copy, there's 13.
It's 13.
But online it's 12, and it's.
Well, let's go through the songs and we talk, because I'm going to feature this album.
Yep.
You're going to have in my show on Saturday.
Yep.
The full hour of your song backs to back. But I want you to go through the songs when I look at them. Let's have a little talk about it, because it's going to help me talk when I'm doing the show. So
awesome.
Life is Good Today. I've had a listen to that one. That's on Spotify, isn't it?
Yeah, that was my
Good
debut
song.
single. So this goes back to Zac Brown Band, mate. I being a musician and a guitarist, I always gravitate to the production of a song, never the lyrics.
100%.
The lyrics are always like notes to me. Even now, like it's you know, I won't bore you, but I could sing you 300 songs and I couldn't even tell you what the song's about.
Yeah.
But I know every bass line, every drum hit, you know, every guitar. So I never liked country music. I always that Australian kind of rock kind of scene. And I went to Nashville in 2011, not for a footy trip. And anyone who's been to Nashville, you come away a country music fan. They were all playing, all the cover bands were playing this song, and it was just the one lyrics that I heard was "Life is Good Today." And I came back and I was like, I've got to find out what this song was, you know. And it ended up being Zac Brown Band Toes.
Right.
And that was the song that to this day I owed to me understanding lyrics in a song.
That's great.
So it's almost like a testament to Zac Brown, you know, Life is Good Today. It's off his song Toes, and it's just a great message. Yeah. I love Zac Brown Band. I got a tattoo. I saw him in I've travelled around the world to go watch him, and you know, and I just love what they're about. I love their sound. I love their energy, and as I said, it's a testament to Zac Brown and why I write country music and why I kind of started writing lyrics in songs. So so that's why the album's called Life is Good Today. And you hear the song, you hear the drummer pick up his sticks. Yeah, and it's almost like in the actual song. It's like, right, this is James Keith. Okay. And it's a high energy, you know, good feel good song, talking about all the things you can do to embrace things that are good. Yeah, you know, there's so many good things in the world, exactly. and a lot of people they skip those and they look at the negative things. And they look at social media and all this kind of get caught up in that.
Yeah, good.
And this is just a reminder of all the little things in a day where you can really take a blessing out of it. And,
that's lovely.
And life is good today, man. And we've got to celebrate it.
Fantastic. Yeah. And then we go to This Town.
This Town is cool, man. And this actually Matt Fell produced this one. So this is about growing up 5 boys on a farm in Orange. And it's I really like this song because the way it's song written, because it's got clues. If you know Orange or know the area, it's got a heap of clues through the song.
Where it's from.
And it's got a great film clip that goes with it too. It's all like old footage of me and my brothers playing footy and
awesome.
Running around, jumping on the trampoline, and as you used to do. But yeah, it's called This Town, so it's about Orange, New South Wales.
Yep.
But it never says Orange.
No, it just leans into it. Could be any country town.
It really could be any country town, but it laces clues.
Yeah, good.
Snow and Mount Canobolas and the lake and Summer Street and all these kind of Wiradjuri and So you know, if you know the area, you'll enjoy this song.
You'll pick that up. And then Reason to Believe, track 3.
Yeah, so I was listening to a lot of Luke Combs when I wrote this album. Yep. And Reason to Believe, again, it's like my journey in a sense of making music, you know, like all things happen for a reason. And I really believe that. And however you perceive whether it's good or bad, you know, that kind of puts you in a direction. Yep. I really believe. So, yeah, Reason to Believe is it's a good track of like kind of making the most of what you got and using it as a positive to achieve something. That's great. Well, I'm not going to give away the whole album. I'm just because otherwise they want to hear it and they want to. And as well, I like to give the story of the songs, but also let the listener impart on what they feel on it. You know. So when we talk a bit, chat after the interview, we'll go through if there's anything else you want me to mention and talk about. But is there anything else on the album that you really want to talk about? Like But basically, Say I Do and She Said Yes.
Yep.
And then probably Love of My Life. So,
Okay,
yeah.
tell us about those ones.
So
I Do Part
Say
1.
I Do, yeah. So Say I Do Part 1 it's the first song that I ever wrote. And it's about a couple of my relationships growing up, in Foster. And if you've ever been to Foster, Tuncurry, there's that bridge.
Yeah, the bridge,
I talk about the bridge in the song.
Yeah, good.
It's about, some girlfriends I had back in the day growing up as different relationships. But the way I wrote the song, it's a love sort of song. And then I had the idea in the last chorus. It's just the way I write songs. I always try to change the choruses around.
Yep.
And I wrote it as a proposal.
Okay.
So then I had a crazy idea to try and capture an actual proposal in a film clip.
All right.
So I had a few mates around, long-term relationships, and I said to my mate Cameron, who works for me, and I said, mate, are you thinking about getting proposed? He said, yeah, I'm actually. Goes, well, I might have an idea for you. So I ran it by him, and
He said, yeah.
if you see the film clip, he got proposed to in that actual film, and it's fair income proposal.
That's really happening.
So that's why it's part 1.
Yep.
So yeah, if you check it out, we had to. Man, that day it was a stressful day. We did 2 months of planning for the whole thing to get her there. How we're going to do it, and it was in a theatre. We were doing a theatre show that night.
Yeah.
So I was set up on a stage, and anyway, after all
In front
the
of a
planning,
real audience?
No, in front of no one.
Yep,
in front of no one. It was like Cameron had invited Anna to come to watch her favourite band.
Yeah. All right,
So
okay.
it's not like he put a show on for her.
Yeah.
So but even on the day, so we had to film. We shot the band stuff first, then we did the proposal, and then we had to do all the shots before the next day.
Yeah.
So she had to obviously say yes first,
Yeah.
and then be happy enough to act all the shots, and they're in bed waking up and stuff like that on the farm. So man, it just worked out perfectly, and she loves it. And the cool thing is, they asked me to
tribute to the couple. Yeah.
Well, they got that forever now.
Yeah,
It's
right.
literally her favourite song. She loves it. So they asked me. They got married 6 months later. They asked me to sing that acoustic as their first dance.
Oh, that's lovely, man.
And then so the part 2 is
Yep.
it's a piano version of that song. It's just a keys version. So it could be a lullaby, it could be
She Said
whatever.
Yes.
So the second part 2 film clip is them at their wedding.
Wow.
So it's just a cool story.
Yeah.
Like a traditional album. I like to have a bit of a story through the album.
100%. Yeah.
And this album's like a story of my life.
Hmm.
In a sense where you get married and kind of move on, and then you go to the kids and
Up to that. Yeah.
believe in yourself and all that kind of
So
stuff.
you got 3. We'll get to the kids in a second. But what's the last song? Love of My Life. Was
Love of my life, yeah. So that song's about my 3 kids.
Oh, good. There we go. Segue.
Yeah. So again, the album kind of follows a story. So again, like this town, it's laced with clues, and I've got 3 kids.
So you're not literally saying this is about my 3 kids.
No, this is three verses and 1 verses for each of the kids, and the way, like in the second verse, my daughter's Marley, obviously named after Bob Marley. So the way I reference her is 3 little birds. So they're just cool little laces
That's
in
awesome.
there. Yeah. And then the chorus is like what every parent used to do, draw rainbows in the streets, and ride bikes and wake up in the middle of the night, check their breathing and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a parent, you'll really relate to this song. And man, I get emotional just thinking about it, and I'm making a home video film clip
With
of
all
all
the
the
kids.
with all the kids in it, mate. And there's a little story when and going back to I was talking about when I snapped with Marley when I was in tears.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I got my CDs back, and all my kids are like, I was like, I got my CDs, and my eldest Taylor, she's like, what's the CD? I was like, oh man. So I said, I'm not that old, am I?
No, that's right. But they wouldn't even consider
know.
it. Yeah.
That's right. So I went down to the Kmart, bought a little cassette player, like a CD player, and Marley, she played like. Even when I put her to bed sometimes, when I would be cranky and put her to bed, she would play this song every single night for the first 6 to 8
On
months.
the
And
CD.
I mean every single night.
Has to
And
play
I just hear it out of it. And it was just a beautiful,
Lovely.
just a beautiful thing to be a part of.
gift to your child.
It is, and it's got that forever now. And it's incredibly proud of that song. It's a nice, it's a beautiful sounding song. It's the slowest one on the album.
Yep.
And it's just, it's all about being a father and, what you do as a parent, So
100%.
yeah, so it's a really special song. That one.
Well, that's awesome. And like you're definitely you're a surprise actor when it comes to you're not just a strong old ex-footy player. Like a lot of, not most of the footy players I've met are really in touch with feelings and emotions, to be honest. It's a different world we live in, but
Yeah.
especially the younger ones, and that's why they probably don't even. Sometimes when I see them talking with the older generation, I say, guys, I'm thinking like saying to the old guys, it's a different world now. Like, it really is different. Social media has made it so hard for anyone who's in the spotlight.
Absolutely.
No matter if it's a musician or a footballer or whatever.
Yeah, anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, anyone. It's tricky, but what I will say is that, mate, it looks like you go into a lot of depth now from somebody who didn't really even take much notice of lyrics to now really. You always had that story in your mind and your heart. Is that what you're trying to do in your next songs, or how are you going to approach your? Because this has been done for a while, hasn't it?
It's done.
It's just been released.
Yeah. So it's just been released. I've had it was finished a year and a half ago.
There you go.
So yeah.
And what made your decision to release it
now?
Yeah. What was the? Was there a reason you were holding back, or?
Well, yeah. So look, I grew up. Matchbox 20 were another big band of mine. So this is back in late 90s. You release an album and then. Like they released the single "Real World" 3 years after the album was released.
Right.
So I just assume that's what you do.
Okay,
and you put an album out and then you go bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
And I, as I said, chance meeting with Natalie Waller, and she's just like,
"This is how we'll do it.
Don't do that," And I was like 2 weeks out from releasing it, and I really had to like think about it, like,
I've got to have a plan.
Strategy. So that's like, look, just do it. Like I'm literally only a year and a half into this, into my journey as a solo, or as a James Keith, So nobody knows me yet, but yeah, I'm building, and so, we did single and then single and then single, and now the album's out. But I've got a big catalogue of stuff coming out this year, and
good.
And I've been writing with other people, but yeah, look, this album, honestly, when I had to write with the kids, I was laying in bed next to Marley, and one night, and I wrote that "Love of My Life" in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I wrote "When We Were Kids" in like 20 minutes.
The good ones come out quick.
They come out quick. If you're trying to find words and stuff like that,
you might not be on it.
That's right.
If it falls out.
But yeah, a songwriter yourself. The ones that are really close to your heart, they literally you can write them in as you go. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But I'm always learning as a songwriter. As I said, I've always kind of music sort of side production, which I honestly think can make or break a song.
Yeah.
That's where I really love Matt Fell, what he's doing, with my next sort of songs.
Yep.
But yeah, look, this is, not being a great lyricist, but I'm learning. I'm writing with other people now, and I've been working with Gina Jeffries in her workshops with Max Jackson all last year, writing with other people, and as long as you continue to grow and develop, then
and have fun with it,
and have fun and be yourself.
Be yourself. Well, mate, that's awesome. We've it's been a short talk, but it's been unbelievable, mate, to see where you've come from in such a short time. And you're going to have to keep an eye out for this guy, James Keith. If he's got any tenacity like his Mortimer family, I'll be supporting him in a year's time. so don't worry about that, Matt. Matt will be saying, I'm going to go join James's band. So, mate, good luck with everything, and it's really great to have you on board. For everybody who needs to get in touch with you, I mean, the good thing about social media is that we can reach out to our artists and be, form relationships with them.
Yep.
But where do they go, mate? Just tell the camera where to go.
You can find me on social media, all the platforms, but James Keith Music. And one thing I did learn from Tony Robbins, I did his seminar last year, and it's create raving fans, because they're the people who sell your music and who follow you along. And I make a point to follow everybody back who follows me. I'm not too big for that. I'll write back and to as many messages and private messages and whatnot that I can. And as I said, I want to support people as much as they support me. So James Keith Music is, I've got a website, again, jameskeith.com.au. So you'll find me on socials. I'm pretty active on there. Do all these loop videos and just content of my family and stuff like that. So yeah, as I said, if you want to reach out, I'd love to come to a show and
get in there.
And that kind of
well,
stuff.
mate, I look forward to seeing the trajectory of your career in the next 12 months. That's my album for you, mate. I signed it for you as well.
And honestly, mate, I saw you in Tamworth, and mate, you're doing some great things too. You, like saying, got great energy, mate, and I really enjoyed your show. I was up in Tamworth. And,
thanks, mate.
Thank you for having me on here and supporting, country music.
My pleasure, mate. We're going to keep doing it. So we'll get you back in a year's time and see what we've got. So,
yeah, we'll do.
Awesome, brother. Well done, mate. Good on you, mate. Good work, mate. Awesome.
Chat. Thank you.
Thanks. See you next week, guys. James Keith.
Get your boots on.
In a world driven by visuals, every frame tells a story. Every moment captures emotion. At Speedy Tech Media, We breathe life into your vision. Our dedicated team of experts craft unforgettable experiences. We don't just shoot videos, we create memories that last a lifetime. Join us in making your dreams a reality. Elevate your brand with Speedy Tech Media. Contact us today. Let's tell your story together.